spongy bone is going to form. So you see that in 3. Notice that the blood vessel is now inside of the peristeel bud. Okay. Now, what's going to happen there is you're going to have a second area of ossification that's going to start forming. These are on the ends. And you're going to show how this is going to be important eventually in the formation of the epiphyseal plate. So the diaphysis elongates, the medullary cavity forms as an ossification continues. Secondary ossification centers appear on the epiphysis in preparation for stage 5. Stage 5, the epiphyses ossify. When completed, hyaline cartilage will remain only. Remember, this started off as mostly hyaline cartilage, you can see in number 1. And you're going to have these little plates, and then you're going to have articular cartilage on the far edges. And you see this from childhood right through adolescence. As a matter of fact, in adolescence, one of the means to determine if the individual has left adolescence and become an adult is when the epiphyseal plates completely calcify. That's when bone growth, lengthwise, stops. Okay. Notice that as the secondary ossification centers are formed, you've got a good rich supply of blood there. Notice that you will also have the expansion of the medullary cavity, and of course that's also going to be filled with marrow. Okay, so you're going to have basically spongy bone on the interior. You're going to have these nice solid structures of compact bone on the outer edge, and that will take up the body weight. Okay. Growth in the length of long bones we've talked about. By the way, this is going to occur near the epiphyseal plate, and what you see here for the long bone growth is a progression. You have the proliferation zone, cartilage cells are undergoing mitosis. The hypertrophic zone, the older cartilage cells enlarge. The calcification zone, the matrix becomes calcified, the cartilage cells die, the matrix begins to deteriorate, and then you have this infiltration of osteoblasts. They're going to basically deposit bone matrix, and so you have new bone forming there. Okay, that is in the area around the epiphyseal plates. Okay, the cartilage calcium spicules, they're going to be lost and eroded by osteoclasts. And what you have is the structure being replaced by osteoblasts and bone matrix, okay? Now, one more area before we finish up for today, and then what I'm going to do is I'm not going to go into long bone growth, so, hold on to your notes. We'll finish this up definitely on the Tuesday, but I wanted to bring up a couple of points. How is some of this regulated? And that is by a variety of hormones. Growth hormone, which accounts for bone growth. Thyroid hormone, T3, T4. This accounts for metabolism and the moderation of proper proportion of growth throughout the body. And then finally, sex hormones. These account for the growth spurt during puberty. So we're talking sex hormones, progesterone, estrogen, testosterone. A couple of pointers here to help you. When we talk about growth hormone, excuse me, growth hormone will continue to be released. If you have individuals that have a high release, well past the ceiling of the epiphyseal plates, certain bone structures will begin to get more and more prominent as they continue throughout their aging. If you have an overproduction of this, and you'll get more into this when you go through the endocrine section in AP2, a high production of growth hormone later on in life leads to sort of this extension of the brow, extension of the cheekbones, and to a point the chin, the extension of the sides of the skull, which is what they call tower skull. This is usually due to either uncontrolled growth hormone release from the pituitary, or actually a pituitary tumor, and the tumor is kicking out lots of growth hormone. And so this is referred to as acromegaly, okay? So you've got a lot of these hormones just constantly being released. Now, thyroid hormones, basically they control sort of the metabolism. So too much, and you're going to have a growth metabolism, but it's going to eventually seem like everything's running high speed, and you can have hypersecretion or hyposecretion of thyroid hormones. And then finally, of course, the sex hormones, these are going to enhance the growth spurt during adolescence. And you'll hear parents talking about, my gosh, they've gone through a growth spurt. Okay, from here, what we're going to do is we're going to stop here and we will continue this on the Tuesday. I really appreciate everybody's patience on this. I'm sorry I was knocked a little bit for a loop due to the flu, but from this point on, I hope that you have a very nice week off. We will not have assignments per se this week. And also, when I post these videos, you can view them as many times as you would like. Okay? So you can come back to them time and time again. I'm going to have to break them up, as you probably have seen, into shorter lectures due to the limits of posting this material on YouTube. You can only go about 15 minutes, and if you go beyond that, they won't accept your video. So have a nice week. We'll see you next week. Okay? Bye-bye.